We all got to start somewhere on our journey. I'm starting here. Time for this new life path. I'm going to put myself out. We're going to do some stuff together. I hope you enjoy these videos. I just want to make some real videos that ain't edited, ain't cut, don't look perfect, just real. My name's Ryan. I've been procrastinating starting my shop, but I am taking the leap this year. It's 2024. None of that matters, but we're going to do it. Just a reference. The name of my shop is Raw Fab. I'm a real one. I'm raw. Hand tools. We get down. Grinding, cutting, banging, welding, effing up, doing it right, testing. Try it again. Any idea you got, throw it at it. See if it sticks. But I've recently realized a whole lot of YouTube has changed. This has gone away. The only time you see anything, it's just a brand name, a corporate name, a big guy that's too arrogant to simply break down how a lifter and a push rod work in an engine for you, because you're supposed to know, right? How the hell you know if someone hasn't told you? Especially me at 43 now. You feel real insecure trying to ask a young man questions just due to the fact that, well, they're all kind of pricks nowadays. The real young ones that aren't, they got to a point and they stop, they like to judge. They're slightly arrogant. I'm not going to name names, but I've, for the last few years, tried to talk to a few individuals, and, well, I was pushed to the wayside and laughed at. Under their breath, snuckled at you. That's fine. It's cool. I didn't do this for them. So, I'm going to do it for myself. Always have. It's the only way to do it. But when you're sourcing information, you used to be able to get a lot of information to YouTube, just nitty-gritty dude in the driveway, right? Now all of that stuff's gone. We got to get back to it. I myself carry a big fat YouTube certification around with myself because I came from when it started. I loved watching the videos. You could take what you wanted from this, learn from that. Everyone helped everybody. Of course, everybody talks shit, but man, if you don't got anybody talking shit, you must not be doing nothing. That's the real deal to me. So, like I said, starting this shop. I guess you could say starting this shop. It's been in the works for a few years. Just haven't settled on it. But I do raw work, raw fabrication work, meaning it's an idea, it's a thought. It's something you wouldn't have the gusto to go to a big name fabrication shop and ask for their help, because first, you may not understand the path you're actually trying to go on, and it may change along the way. And none of them guys have time for it, because they gotta keep this, they gotta keep the lights on, we gotta save the shop, blah, blah, blah. No, we gotta take care of the people that are the reason we do this. At least myself. I just want to bring joy through smiles and adrenaline rushes. That's what this is all about. I love it. It's a blast. So I started building a 2002 GMC Sierra 1500 short box single cab pickup years ago. I've called it the shit box. It's got stickers. Everyone's enjoyed it the last few years, I believe, at the sand dunes. I've never gotten any other than, like I said, the other ones that, whoa, look at that guy's truck. Well, I'm not on your playing field, and I don't want to be. I enjoy what I do. I'm not stressed out every second for it, because if I don't have this certain thing look this certain way, someone might say something. I don't give a shit. So, let's give you a little rundown of it. Like I said, 02 GMC Sierra 1500 two-wheel drive, 4.8 liter LS. All of what? 200 horsepower these things are? I don't even know. This one's got 264,000 miles on it. Two-wheel drive. Been having its ass whooped the whole time. You know it. So, I went wild with it years ago. We used to bring it. I daily drove it. Used to bring paddles in the back. Would swap them in the parking lot. Go throw sand around. Flop tires. Bring it home. And see what damage we did every weekend. From shock towers being blown out of the bottom of the control arms to, ball joints and tie rods every weekend. so many. And then we cracked the frame. I cracked the frame. I cracked the frame. After the last time we destroyed it, blew up another rear end, I said, that's it, let's go wild. So I back halved it completely from the transmission cross member back with 2x6 rectangular tubing from my steel suppliers, Central Iron, here in Michigan, Grand Rapids. Great guys. So she's like I said, it's back halved from a little more than back, honestly. The trans member back. Now this is gonna be a real channel, no editing until later, maybe, who knows, even if I feel like it. Just gonna show you. I left 8 inches of the factory frame still in place, past, in order to recess my new frame back in. So she has 8 inches of support from the factory frame before it ends on its own. It's wrapped up well all the way around, well all the way around. And then, as they call, I believe they call this fixed plating. It's a 1/4 inch plate, 2 feet long, with square, diamond, whatever you want to call, cutouts so I can plug weld it along the way. This is one of the roll cage supports down to the frame itself. Then we come back to this section. Here are our front location for the 4-link brackets. These are the only brackets I myself did not hand make. These are from Barnes 4x4 or 4-wheel drive, however it's called, because I needed them to be exact, and then I could go off their exact bracket, however you want to call it. These are the weld your owns, of course, because I weld my own stuff. Now the 4-link here, this is a kit from BigShocks.com. Their DOM tubing, it's 2 inch with 1 inch monster heims. I have the spacers to go down to 3/4 inch bolt, because by no means did a half-ton pickup truck need that, for crying out loud. Mega truck don't even need that half the time. Unfortunately, I do still have, and most can't believe it when I tell them, this is the factory drive shaft in the truck still. Yeah, so it just has a bastard U-joint in the back in order to match the half-ton U-joint to the 1-ton U-joint, because this is a late 70s range dually 1-ton rear end with a factory 456 rear gear. I disassembled and put in a Yukon mini spool to lock them up. It's a total of 6.5 inches narrower than a factory 14 bolt of the same year. It makes for some very interesting problems when it came to trying to position the rear coilovers into a position where they weren't residing on the frame, where the frame was this, that, and the other, so it wasn't rubbing or touching. You'll see lots of different brackets that are still relying behind, that weren't cut off due to the fact that, like I said, it's a raw test truck. First year we were here for the limit straps, and the limits were moved here. Then the positioning and location of the coilovers itself kept changing, so then the upper bracket changed again. I changed it again, and then I changed it again. And then I needed bump stops. Couldn't afford hydraulic bump stops. Got big fat rubbies. Made some landing pads. These are 16-inch 2 1/4 emulsions, I believe they call it, with a 2.5 inch spring over 2 1/4, whatever. 16 inches of travel. Yee in the rear. Like I said, I've made all my own brackets. I way overbuild everything, especially since I've looked at mega trucks for the last few years. I way overbuilt this. Everyone else just runs a side tab, done. I run side tab, supports, as well as another brace down. My lower 4 links, side, rear support as well. So it's always a 3-piece, 3 points of contact box, essentially. I'm probably saying all this wrong, but I don't care. Like I said, side, support, brace, Side, side, side. Every single other rig I walk up on, I'm not sure if it's me overdoing it or them underdoing it and I don't realize it, and it's like a point of weakness for it to intentionally break. I'm not sure, but most have just a side tab, bolted on, and they send them. How it works, I'm not sure as a structural steel-based guy, but theirs work, but mine won't fail. I know for a fact. Side support as well. Like I said, your 3-box point of contact, tab supporting as well, brace. So the downward force it would take to destroy this unit, this section, oh god, it's never going anywhere, as they say. That ain't going nowhere. So, standalone fuel system as well. I think it's a 16-gallon tank. I'm not sure. All used stuff, most of it. Like this shit, at least. But everything else was new. Yeah, fuel system. This truck I fought late for years. Accident has always been too light. Way too light, way too light, way too light since I did it. So I have tried to come up with ingenious ways of adding, subtracting, and being able to adjust weight of the rear of this truck. So this is 2 tubes here that are filled with concrete, and then welded slots brace there, capped both ends, welded it to the frame. So that was another added weight for the rear. That helped a bunch. It wasn't enough. And then built these weight plate racks, however you want to call this. Then you actually, these are bars from a gym set, and the gym weights will sit here, stack, 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 stack. I can just add or subtract 50 pounds per side with plates, and then they're pinned to their locations. So there's a whole lot of adjustability and stuff in the rear of this truck, depending on what tires I've got on it for used or for spare tires, because that constantly changes. This year it'll have aluminums with Duratrax, possibly, maybe not. I'm not sure. Last year I had Steelies with 35-inch mud tires for spares, so the weight changed. I don't know. I just can't stay consistent. Constantly changing and evolving and trying to make it work better and better and better and better. Oh, my beautiful wife found me some of the good old 3A racing seats from back in the day. We all remember how those make your ass feel. Ouch. But they work and they hold you there. So 4.3A or 4-point Ace Racing harnesses. They were cheap, but they're effective. I do wish I went with the 5-point instead of the 4-point. I thought the crotch deal would be impacting me, but this is a nuisance because these want to pull up on you and pull your waist strap back. If you had the crotch support, that would be prevented, so I'll be doing 5 points in the future. Roll cage inside. The classic sticker everyone's got. My daughter bought this for me. I got rid of the airbag, but I had to keep the sticker. There you go. Love these handles here. Recommend the 3 ones instead of the 2 so they don't squeeze. Our old boy Red loves these things. He's a 2-hander riding through the dunes all day. Has a blast. Rear support of the cage comes to the floor. Across the back. Bars come up. Seat belts are obviously mounted to the rear of that. The roll cage from inside thus then continues out back out of the truck into the whole rear framing structure, and then that is supported through the back here, down to the frame, through the frame, as well as to the top of the cage. There is 6 main points of contact from the cage to the frame in here, and then there's also 4 points of contact from the cage welded to the cab because the body mounts have been smoked since I bought it. And the cab would probably be laying in the sand if I didn't weld it to the cage. She's very rigid. There is no rubber mounts anywhere other than the engine and transmission on this truck. Everything's just rigid. Oh, and control arm bushings, obviously, but everything else is rigid. Then I had to get some coilovers on the front, so hand built all these. The control arms are built, bought and adapted to the half-ton half-ton bushings that were in there to these large control arms. Hand built all this bracketry, like I said in the rear. I'm not sure if it's me overbuilding or them underbuilding. Why they only use just the side tabs and no one supports it. I don't know, but I do, and just peace of mind. As well as the bottom there. 2 side points as well as the front contact. So I don't want any bowing or flexing of my side tabs, let alone I don't want any points of breakage. It's all got to let go from a welder's point of view. We don't set them up for weak points so that there's places they break. The point is for it not to break. If it breaks, next time it's going to be stronger. I don't understand the philosophy of a weak link point in the coilovers and all of those types of things that are expensive, and it needs a spot so that you don't destroy a $400, $500, $800 piece, of course. But when it comes to the frame and the truck, and the body mounts and all of that stuff, I just would rather it be stiff. There you go, all hand built. Just completed doing the legendary Truck Norris cam setup with upgraded valve springs, push rods, and obviously the cam itself. So there's no glass in the truck. It's a wild ride now. So that's the windshield now. America. And that's just a quick rundown of my truck. I'm going to try and make some videos of the things I continue to do with it and how much it progresses forward, if any. I just want to kind of get those videos out there. I don't know if anyone's going to watch it. If they do, kick ass, man. If you don't, I don't know, whatever. You didn't find me. So I guess the whole thing you're supposed to do with this to continue it is to hit the like, subscribe, stuff buttons. But like I said, this first one, don't know how it works. I just want to get back to the grassroots of YouTube. Real guys building real shit, showing other guys how to build real shit if they want. If they don't, good. Go give it to someone else and pay them. For the other ones that can't, and we just like to build our own stuff out of pride, well, come on this journey with me. Let's bring shit boxes to the world.